What's going on, everyone? Mitesh here, and today we're taking a look at another pair of true wireless earbuds in the Airpods for Android series. This time it's the cheaper pair of true wireless earbuds from Soundcore, the Life P2. These retail for just around $60, and normally you can find these for around $50 on Amazon, links in the description below. So I really wanted to check these out because I wanted to see if they could bring some of the magic of the Liberty series true wireless earbuds down to these much more affordable earbuds. Now, for full disclosure, Soundcore did send these out to me for the purposes of this review, but I don't do paid reviews and they're seeing this video at the same time you guys are. So without further ado, let's talk about these earbuds. And as always, we're going to start off by talking about the case on these earbuds, and I gotta say, the case on these things isn't great. For one, it's really big. It's especially considering the size of the earbuds inside of the case. This case is about 2 times as big as like the Liberty Air 2, which are the same size earbuds. So you're really going to notice these when these are inside of your pockets. And the other thing that I really don't love about this case is the opening mechanism. So the entire top of the case is a lid, and the first thing is the hinge on it really is not great. It feels really flimsy and cheap. It has a lot of play, and considering how big the lid is, and it's very lightweight, so it makes it feel a little bit cheaper. But it's really not all that bad with the case. You do have USB-C charging, which is great to see, but you don't get wireless charging like you do with some of their other headphones, which I don't know, I don't consider that big of a deal. Now, once we get that flimsy lid open, we're greeted by another small annoyance, and that's in getting the earbuds out of the case. The magnets on these are pretty strong, and they lay flat. The earbuds lay flat inside the case, so it makes them really kind of hard to pull out. You have to like put your finger inside the hole in front of them just to push them out, and it really is a two-handed job. It's really not convenient, and you got to make sure you prop open the lid with one hand because I think it will just fall down if you don't. So getting them out of the case, I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. You'll get used to it, but it is a little inconvenient at first. Now, moving past all of that, we finally get to the earbuds themselves. Before we get into it, I want to say if you guys are enjoying this video, please consider hitting that like button along with that subscribe button if you guys want to see more videos like this. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, and honestly, I'm not even close. So consider subscribing. But anyways, once we get to the earbuds themselves, in terms of shape and design, they're very much like black AirPods, though they are the in-ear kind versus AirPods, which just kind of sit inside your ears. Now, there's positives and negatives to this. The Life P2 do a good job of blocking outside noise, and thanks to the in-ear design, they actually stay in my ear much better than AirPods do. Now, the downside is, of course, it's going to mean that you're not aware of your surroundings as much, so like an office environment, you may not want this. And then, of course, for those of you who have not actually used in-ear style earbuds before, they might actually hurt your ears after you wear them for a few hours, so that is something to consider. You will get used to it over time, but at the beginning it may hurt your ears a little bit. Now, the nice thing is they do include 5 sets of ear tips, so these things, you know, you were more likely to find tips that you'll find comfortable and that will help them stay in your ears better, so that's always great to see, especially for $50, like 5 sets of ear tips. That's, you know, kind of unheard of. And once you get these earbuds in your ears, that's when they really start to shine. The sound quality of these earbuds is great. They sound exactly like the Liberty Air 2s, which are almost double the price of these. The highs and mids on these are really clear without being harsh, and the low end is tight and controlled, giving really good bass response without a lot of distortion. Overall, these sound really good, but the one downside to these versus the Liberty series is the fact that they don't work with the Soundcore app, so you can't change the sound profile on them. What they sound like is what they'll always sound like, which kind of sucks considering that if you want to be able to customize your sound profile, you just can't do it. Now, I'm not sure if this is a deal breaker considering I already think the normal sound profile sounds really good, but it's up to you. If you don't like the normal sound profile, which is really geared towards listening to music that is like pop, hip hop, rap, all that stuff, it's great for that. But if you're someone who's more into like classical, it sounds good still, but it's not as good as if you were to like switch it over to the piano setting that you can get on like the Liberty Air 2. So that is something to consider. Also, since we're talking about sound quality, let's talk about the quality of the microphones. So I'm happy to say that mics these days have gotten much better, and you guys can check out some of these unedited clips right here. Okay, and this is the kind of sound quality you can expect from the microphones. I'm in a very quiet room right now, so this is about what you'll get when you're talking to anybody normally. All right, so now I've got a bunch of simulated noise playing around me, so you should get an idea of what it's like if you were out in the busy street trying to talk with these headphones in. So this should give you a good idea. You should still be able to hear me pretty well, though my words might be a little more clipped because it's trying to cancel out that background noise. But at the very least, you shouldn't be hearing too much of that background noise at all. All right, next up, let's talk about the controls on these earbuds. So each earbuds has a physical button on the side of it. Now, the biggest complaint I have about these buttons is the fact that they're a little stiff and hard to press. So these are the type of earbuds where you have to use the pinching method to push the buttons versus just trying to push the buttons. For those of you who don't know what the pinching method is, where you take your index finger, put it behind your earbud, and then use a thumb to push the actual button. This way, the index finger stops the earbud from going further and further into your ear and making it really uncomfortable for you. And in terms of controls, you have a single tap on each earbud for play, pause, double tap on the left one to go back, double tap on the right one to go forward, long press on either of them to bring up your assistant, and sadly, there is no way to control volume on these earbuds. The only way to control volume is through your phone or whatever device you're connected to, or by using the assistant on your phone. So yeah, in terms of controls, I'm actually pretty disappointed by them, and especially for the fact that you just have no way to customize the controls at all. So that kind of sucks. Finally, the last two things I want to talk about in this review are connectivity and battery life. So in terms of connectivity, you do have Bluetooth 5.0, so these are pair up super quick to your phone and stay connected without any issues. And they also have really low latency, so you can watch videos without having like the audio effect where what they're saying is out of sync with what you're hearing. So that's great. You'll probably still find some latency when you're gaming, but that is how most earbuds are. Now, in terms of battery life, they claim 7 hours, and in my testing, I got about 6 hours and 40 minutes at 100% volume, which is super impressive. That's really good battery life. That'll get you through a day easy. And the case has an additional 3 charges, and if you put them back in the case when they're dead for 10 minutes, you're going to get another hour's worth of charge. So it's got quick charging on board too. So in terms of battery, you are covered. And yeah, that's all the things I really wanted to cover in this review. You are losing quite a few nice features when you're stepping down from the higher priced Liberty series that Soundcore offers to the Life P2, but you're keeping some of the most important things. You're keeping great sound quality, great battery life, and really good connectivity. So I would say if this is your budget or you're looking at the best value for money, these are a good option. But if you can afford a little bit more, if you want a little bit more of those features like having the ability to customize your sound profile and things like that, the Liberty series is worth considering. But that's pretty much it for this video. Like this if you liked it, subscribe if you guys loved it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye!